Welcome to No Flips, Just Mike's episode, I think 13. This is CONQUEST, weekly wrestling podcast in which we jump into the wrestling world, give a little highlights, share our opinions, and hopefully entertain you along the way with our shenanigans. I'm one of your hosts, Rhys, Baldwin. Joining me, my co-host, Eric Hart.
Hey.
So later on, we'll do our predictions for the HIAC pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. You know, get up to date with all the terminology. HIAC.
The latest
Does anyone call it
Hell
HIAC? But first, topic 1. It's all about the best and the worst Cell matches in history. Of course, my history with Hell in a Cell very limited. I've seen the Cell matches from like 2000, might be in 2002 onwards. I'm not sure. But yeah, so some of the worst we already like. I think universally, Undertaker Big Boss Man is kind of regarded as one of the worst.
And yeah, it's.
I've seen that one actually.
Well, yeah, it's obviously at WrestleMania. Yeah, it's WrestleMania 15, and you know, it was the first one to happen at WrestleMania, and it is just dull. Like every time I watch it, I feel like maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be alright. Like I knew I hated it as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I'll. And then I watch it and I just think it just doesn't work. The crowd just don't give a shit. They just brawl around a bit and then like it happens. The best bit is when he gets hanged off the cell afterwards, like Boss Man does.
Yeah, it's the infamous moment.
Just that's the only one that really like I didn't get much from it at all.
Yeah.
And like. The only other one that I feel like is not the best is Undertaker Kane, which was Hell in a Cell 2010. I think it was. I do believe it was.
Yeah, 2010 was the Kane Taker.
Yeah, it was the Kane Taker feud, which was not. It wasn't the best.
No.
Their first match, I remember really enjoying because it was like a weird throwback to the Attitude Era brawls, even though I don't like brawls.
Yeah.
I liked that throwback of that, and then I remember. I think the Buried Alive match might be worse than this Hell in a Cell match, but this Hell in a Cell match
probably
is still. I didn't like. I enjoyed it more than I first did, but I still didn't enjoy it much. Like it's very like, again, it's all about they kind of just brawl around a bit, and then they've got the weird thing with the urn light getting shone into his face, this bearer, and. But it's all pulled off really like weirdly, and the crowd are like not sure what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
And then like, it just doesn't really work.
Uninspiring.
And then obviously the only other things that you could say are that there are some matches that probably could have easily gone not in the Hell in a Cell, like Undertaker Punk Hell in a Cell 2009.
No, not a fan of that match. 10 minutes opened the show, and I think that was the whole thing that started. Is Punk doing stuff backstage that they don't like? Well, after that match, people were like, "Oh, maybe Punk has been pissing people off, or whatever," because they just had that kind of throwaway Cell match.
It's so weird because like they, you know, I think for that first Hell in a Cell 2009, because it was the first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and they were like, "Let's just like go all out. Let's just chuck them all in. Let's just." Chuck everywhere and all the big feuds in a cell. And like I said, the problem is when you've got something like that in a cell, it doesn't work as well because it's meant to be these big feud enders, you know, these big epic feud brutality, like, and then
supposed to be an organic journey to the cell match, not just we have a pay-per-view, there we go, we need to chuck people inside the cell.
But as I watch it, I think the match is actually pretty decent for what they do for 10 minutes, but you do feel like they just. But at the same time, you feel like it just shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
Like, they do use the cell. They do some... Like I said, they do fill out that 10 minutes well. But you just feel like it wasn't worthwhile.
No.
And, you know, I feel like that's sometimes where you sometimes get that with certain ones. I know... Because obviously they had Cena Orton later on, which I thought that was, like... Again, I didn't like that when I first watched it. But I thought it's fine, but there's not much of a cell vibe to it. Like, they don't do much to really, like... There wasn't much difference from like a normal match for them, apart from them using the cell a couple of times. Like I don't think there was much.
I think the past decade, I think one of the big factors that it doesn't feel like a cell match is it just doesn't feel quite as brutal. There's no blood, and I think that is like subconsciously
to be honest,
something in your mind.
No, that's one thing I did notice because for those unaware, in the past week I watched every single Hell in a Cell match and Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. No, I do not have a life at the moment. But,
no life.
So that's, and seeing when I saw the transition, I think the first one to have no blood is Edge Taker, because that's when they started going into it.
Yeah, that's it.
And in that one, you do notice that you feel at that one. I do notice like, you know what, maybe
a bit of blood.
To be fair, I still think that Hell in a Cell match is fantastic. Like, it's one of the best ones they've done. Like that's top 10. And like, but I can see what you mean with the brutality, and that's why I feel like something like with last year with Sasha and Charlotte, right? You had the the whole, they kind of hyped it up more as the first Women's Cell match rather than the feud going into it.
Pretty much.
Even though they had a good feud going into it, I felt, and the feel of that match, felt, even though there was any blood, felt more like previous ones, because there was like an intensity there.
Yeah.
Like especially with the start of the match, they just go at it, and then there's the bomb through the announce table.
That was fantastic.
They give each other hell. There's some really great stuff in there, and obviously it is a bit rough around the edges, but it kind of works in that respect. I think the table spot's the only thing, and the ending are the two things that really let it down a little bit. But I've grown to like the ending more in like a more of a retrospective way than I did when I first watched it. But I mean, the table bit which messes up is still very like this is awkward. What
I've noticed about the latter years as well with this Hell in a Cell, there's been a few which have actually felt like they are the feud enders then, like the shot, like even though Charlotte and Banks continued, it kind of fit that they went inside the cell, not just because it was the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view so they needed to put people in, it just felt right. The fact that they were doing all these other things for us going anywhere, and
well, that's the thing, it was originally just like a big feud ender, and there's a lot, and to be fair, I think the quality of them has increased over the years. Like the first few years they had some good ones, but it's really the best ones have been through the last few years on the pay-per-views. Like I said, I love the Rollins Ambrose one. I thought
it's a fantastic cell match.
That's again, it's one where they made it feel different. They did the whole start on the top as like a throwback. I think Ambrose says before he climbs, it's time, it's time to die tonight or something like that. So we're all gonna die tonight, and then they do the whole thing off, and then it's just like really like you got that intensity. It's there. I do think the Wyatt involvement brings it down a little bit. Like it kind of feels a bit when you see all that happening. You feel like this should have been like, because obviously this was the Shield feud, and now I would have preferred them bring him in afterwards, after it had been done, so they could have had like that resilience. But whatever, have holographic Wyatt come up on a beam or whatever. That is what happened. And like but yeah, I think the most of nearly everyone I've seen in the past 3 or 4 years I've thought have been really good, great, like kind of ones, like even like Wyatt Reigns and stuff like that, like ones that I went in not sure what to expect, and then they're like, oh, this is like been really great. Or like I forgot how good the Rusev Reigns was from last year, because I couldn't remember. I
enjoyed that one.
I couldn't remember
they went like 20. They went long.
Well,
20,
they opened the show, because that show is actually 3.5 hours long. It says 3 hours 59, but they added the Raw talk afterwards, which is why it looks like it's almost 4 hours. Like, wait, is this 4 hours? I can't remember. And then it's like, no, it's because of Raw talk. But no, but like that one, like I know, I think my brother didn't like it. My brother's a massive Reigns hater, so he's like,
some people are biased.
He has a specific thing where he likes about wrestlers, so like it doesn't fit his mold. But
that's fair.
So that's why I couldn't really remember much about it, and then I watched it. I was like, oh no, I actually really enjoyed that. The Owens Rollins one, I couldn't remember much, but I was like, no, that was actually really good.
For the Owens Rollins one, there's just the one spot that sticks in my mind, and has the bomb through the weird
table thing
set up.
See, I forgot about it until he started setting up, and I was like, wait, he takes a bomb for that, doesn't he? Right. Yes, he does.
All in all, since 2003, there's a few that I can remember that stood out to me. So that's DX Legacy. Just
I love that
great
one.
match.
That was a good one.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels from Bad Blood.
That's an interesting one.
Really enjoyed that one.
That's been very divisive for people, because I know a lot of people don't like. A lot of people are like, because it goes 47 minutes, which is pretty hefty.
It's a long haul.
It does. I do think it does go on. It does feel a bit too long, but I liked how they were going with it, because obviously they were going for them. They were like really fatigued by the end of it. Like I think, which I think they do take a bit long. Like because I know. Like Triple H will give Michaels the pedigree, and then they'll be on the floor for like 5 minutes before he makes the pin.
Yeah.
Like they really made it seem like they took the lot. And the problem is, like, when you think about what people have done in cell matches from like the previous years, because what they do in it seems very tame, so it doesn't like, so even though they're like all exhausted, you kind of, I don't think you fully feel that.
No.
As such, and like, but I still think it's great. Like I think the initial like rundown of it is just like fantastic, like the whole working on Michael's back and everything. My personally, I still love the Michaels Taker, the first ever match, and the Mankind Taker one. The Mankind Taker one just like so like special, like it's just
wow.
There's something like
you know,
there's something about it that just like.
I think there's a few things about that one.
Well,
that sticks out.
Well, not obviously, but like seeing every time I think I'm more like appreciative of it now than I was as a kid. Just see when he just gets thrown off that cell, and it's still such a mental thing to see, and just the reaction
through it.
Because especially JR's thing, because it's like, God, he killed him.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of JR's most commonly used sound bites come from that match.
Exactly, because he just, because obviously the choke slam through the cell wasn't.
Is that
planned.
the one? With God as my witness, he is broken in half or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is. My God, my brother, he is broken in half. My God, he killed him. That's the first thing he says. My God, he killed him. Like, I mean, I did look pretty vicious to be fair. Like that's just because although Michael did the fall off, Michael was hanging off and then did the thing off, so it wasn't so bad. This was like getting chucked, and he lands like shoulder first. There's no padding. There's no like thing or anything. It's just like through there, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. I mean, those two for me are just they hold like they are like a special like like a special place for me. The other one that really like I forgot how much I actually loved is Batista Triple H from Vengeance 2005. That one has.
I forgot about that one.
That one's.
I need to rewatch.
Very brutal. It's got the whole barbed wire wrapped chair.
Yeah.
And then it's just like really like there's a great intensity, and that was the feud ender.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
That's right.
It was a perfect end. I loved the finish with.
They went different brands, I think, or after the draft.
I think they swapped. Yeah,
that's right.
And I loved the finish when like Batista's like giving him the bomb and like. Batista bomb, and Triple H has a sledgehammer, like he's gonna try him, and then he doesn't, and it's just like that last gasp of just thing, and it's just like I forgot it is like that might be my like I don't know, that's like top 3 for me, I think, along with them two, and then obviously
my favourites.
We've got the one
Taker
from
Trips Mania 28.
That one
is my Hell in a Cell match.
Again, that's like. I think that is like top 4, top 3. This one of the.
It not only had like obviously Taker Trips, they're good, they can wrestle, but it just had the storyline and psychology aspect of Michaels included.
Well, that's the thing. This one didn't have the big hardcore spots, but it had just the storytelling was so nailed on. And even now watching it, because when it first starts out, okay, they just do the usual thing, and you're just like, okay. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is going good. And then when they start getting into that, I think it's when Triple H is starting to nail him with the chair. Yeah. And there's like that kind of callback to last year. He did the same thing the previous year. And then he's trying to tell Shawn, just stop it. Yeah. And then from there, it just becomes this I think I still get like goosebumps when Michael's like super kicks Taker. And I'm just like, that moment is just, I know that it didn't take it, put him away, but it's just like that, I was just like so...
Literally watching that live. The super kick, pedigree.
That is one of the
1, 2, and I fully thought that was the 3, and I didn't know whether I wanted it to happen or not.
I think
Taker
that
kicked
along
out,
with that
and I was
match,
I was shook.
along with Taker Michaels 2 are the 2 favorite matches I've seen live, because I was with people watching them around friends, and I just remember like all of us just, especially with, I like for Taker Triple H, all of us just being like, this is the thing.
All of us.
Like we, like when you've got that atmosphere as well, you just like can't deny it. It's like, wow,
it was crazy. I'm trying to remember the like the commentary soundbite after it, super kick, pedigree, and it was like, oh my god, Michael's been caught red-handed. I was just like, and it was just like, oh my god, what the hell's gonna happen here now? What's Undertaker gonna do? He's gonna choke slam Shawn or something. I just remember from beginning to end that match, I was quite on the edge of my seat for, and it just stands out, like the ending, and then the post-match little celebration hug thing. It was the end of an era, because that's what they dubbed the match.
The end of the era, wasn't it?
And the cell even had its own theme music.
Oh yeah, the Memory Remains by Metallica. Like that's one thing I always remember from
just like the entire build up, as one package, just phenomenal.
No, it was like fair play. I can't deny that. It is just like, that is the best of the modern era anyway, and it is one of the best like ever they did. Like it really just like, I mean, I really like that one.
Any other notable cell matches?
Well, we've
listed
mentioned
quite a few.
I mean, like I said, there is a lot of like, I mean, Foley Triple H is a really good one, really great one.
What about Cena, Punk, Swagger, Del Rio, and
Dark Match? Yeah, that was
5 minutes
something.
Finisher
To be
fest.
fair, the only footage I could find of that was some guy who is like seated by the rampway. So rather than film the thing, he was filming the screen.
So, right, okay.
On like a really crappy camera, so you can barely see what's going on. I'm just like, this wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Like this was, like it's not.
Well, you've seen it. It's been a history.
I mean, I do really enjoy the. I did enjoy the Lesnar Taker ones, as both of them. They're very like.
Yeah, Lesnar Taker.
Like the first one was the first cell match where it was just. Aside from like the one on Mankind and Kane and on Raw one time, was the first one that they contained it. They didn't go outside at all.
Right.
And I really like the story they tell, and that one feels brutal. Like they both then bleed, they both kind of thing. And then obviously in the second one, Lesnar gets busted, and then that one I really like. It's, especially the finish. I felt they did a nice callback to the previous one because. Or previous stuff, because Lesnar does a low blow and then beats him with a third F5 onto the bare bones canvas, which was something they hadn't done before, exposed canvas, and I'm surprised it took so long for, which I thought was a nice little touch, and I do really like them ones. And I don't know, everything else has been really good. I really like Cena Orton 2 was a really good one.
Yeah, see the number one contender match. Wasn't it?
And Batista Taker is a good one as well. 2007. Like the majority of them have been like great. And then everything else has been like usually like fine or like still enjoyable, but maybe not like quite like, I know.
Not quite as spectacular.
Like we said with Taker and Punk, or like the first Cena Orton, or Henry Orton, I think, is actually fine. My only issue with
I enjoy that one.
Like it's fine. My only issue is the bear hug that goes on for a while.
Yeah,
I hate bear hugs. That's one of my. I really hate the still. Just
like that, and it's like, well, do something.
It's so boring. It's so boring. Just do a chin lock. Do a chin lock. I can deal with chin lock. Bear hugs infuriate me because there's just like, why is he not flailing or just like hitting him like you when you like that you don't stop like that, like just in a I don't know. That's like, but there's been a lot of good stuff And, you know, cell matches are generally good, so... Punk Del Rio Cena was actually really good as well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. That's some really nice
2012?
triple threat
13,
spots.
I don't know.
2012.
So,
Yeah. And then Orton Sheamus is another good one. I think that was the first...
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a surprising one, because I was like... I remember the feud being okay, and then I was like, I'm not sure what they're going to do with this. And then it was like, oh, that was actually a really good one. Well done.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell matches, yeah.
Sorted. Time for the high spots segment, in which we go through some of the highlights of the week. We're going to kind of steer clear of the SmackDown stuff, because a lot of the SmackDown stuff we'll mention in our predictions for Hell in a Cell. NXT first. McIntyre versus Strong.
Roderick Strong.
For the NXT Championship. Very surprising. Like, this is a match I could happily see on a takeover.
Oh yeah, like, they put on a takeover caliber main event. I thought, like, it was really like
the backdrop onto the steel steps, and literally you could see like all the crowds ringside just sort of get up on their feet, going, "What?" I almost got up on my feet and went, "What?" And then I realised it was like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So I was like, "No, I'll."
Well, that was really great. Fair play.
Myself.
I really enjoyed that. It's like the best match of the week in WWE.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
The
like sick kick versus the Claymore sort of aspect that we got to see an angle slam. There was hard hitting moments. There was big spots.
Some nice near falls.
It was just the full package.
Yeah, it's what you want, really. I think it's. I'd go as far as probably one of the best ones on NXT TV.
Yeah.
So far this year on like the weekly show, or even like a WWE weekly show. Even I think it's like one of the best ones they've had so far. So fair play to them. Really enjoyed it. You know, they have good talents. What do you expect?
Yeah, true.
Good times.
We've got on Raw. Now we'll list quite a few things. So we've got the Cruiserweights once again, kind of finishing the show.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting they did that twice. I think they
they practically had the main event spot twice in a row. This week they have Enzo in the ring, they surround him, and then he's like, "Oh, I got a new contract, you're all fired if you touch me." And then Angle's like, "Well, actually this doesn't apply to new guy." And I thought we were about to get like a special moment, like it was the main event. I was expecting some big massive debut, not to disparage Kalisto or anything, but I just wanted something new, not like.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time coming, but it was a tease. It was a bit of an odd thing, really. I was expecting him to come and be like, "Look, I know you can touch him, but we need a contender, so we're just gonna do the ladder match at TLC. Thank you very much."
Yeah.
But no, they're doing obviously they must be going for Kalisto Enzo, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's fair enough. I really like Kalisto. He just is. He's not very good on the mic. That's his downfall.
Yeah.
I am not trash. Or do a real good lucha thing. That's his best line.
Like Kalisto gave me one of my favourite 2016 matches. Might have been. Yeah, against Baron Corbin.
Oh, the Cheers
match. I don't know why it was one of my favourite matches of
that
year.
The Cheer match was great. I can't deny that. It's like really great. Maybe they'll do an Enzo Kalisto Cheer match.
Ladder match. Cruiserweights need a fucking ladder match.
They should put him in a ladder match. I think they should just like chuck them all into that ladder match.
Kalisto has also given us a really great ladder match spot. The Salida del Sol to one of the Usos.
Off through the ladder.
Yeah, off the top of the one ladder through the table ladder.
That was some good shit, man.
That was
some like crazy shit, but some good shit.
But yeah, so Kalisto is now officially part of the Cruiserweight division. We knew it was going to be a matter of time.
Yeah, everyone was saying, like, what are you guys going to do with him? Like,
yeah. And
I know he's been like US champ. That's right, he's been US champ. But you know, it's
multiple time US champ, like, at least twice.
Oh wow.
Beat Del Rio for it.
Yeah, he did have that Del Rio feud.
Yeah, let's hope this builds builds the cruiserweights a bit more
Yeah, I mean,
going forward.
They seem to be doing well with it, or having a good go at it. So I can't fault them for having a go. So, fair dues.
Opening of the show was Rollins and Strowman. Another week where an opponent was actually taking it to Strowman a little.
Yeah, they had a bit more of a competitive edge to it. Nice.
The face was shining a bit more. Obviously, Strowman comes out on top. Because they're probably building up for either another match against Lesnar, or they're just building them up in general.
Well, yeah, they're trying to keep him strong, so they don't want him to go. So it's fine. It's still a good match though. I enjoyed that.
Yep. Miz vs Reigns then for the Intercontinental title. A lot of outside interference and stuff going around, but I think it's the outcome that is the most sort of talked about point, because then the final segment of the show was the Shield back in the locker room sort of nodding to each other, then walking away, which makes me think, are we gonna get Shield versus Miz Cesaro?
I think that's exactly what I'm going for.
And if they do, it has to be a MOFCK in TLC match.
No, I agree. I think that, and I feel like that's going to be
both titles on the line. IC and tag titles they could do. Yeah, do it.
They could do that.
Both titles on the line.
But that I think that will be the TLC match, because they need a main event.
Yeah,
and that'll be
definitely.
The main event. Like they obviously knew that Dallas and Axel weren't exactly the caliber of superstars you need for a Shield.
Sorry, Dallas Axel.
Nothing against them, but people.
The way they're built at the moment, they're just built as like
they're not seen as a threat.
And jobbers and stuff.
So I think having Sheamus and Cesaro there with Miz works really nicely, because obviously
they've
been feuding with Ambrose and Rollins anyway, and obviously Miz and feuding. So if they're all feuding together,
they're taking two feuds, they're just matching them together, putting them in. Shield, we know, can pull off a TLC match,
and I think that's what they're going to go for. They're going to be like, Shield reunion, we had a debut as a TLC, let's do the TLC like we did before, TLC 6-man.
And I want to predict this right now. Next week on Raw, Miz TV with Sheamus and Cesaro.
Right.
I'm predicting Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta Shield. They fucking come in through the crowd, surround the ring. Please let it happen. For the love of Christ.
That would be good. And they'll either do that, or they might...
Or they'll save the entrance for TLC. They might tease it for
TLC, which is fine, I think.
Either way, just give me that entrance.
It's going to be... it's... I don't know, it's fun. Shield.
I want that. And I think it TLC match, yes. I hope they add the titles. I think that... Because we haven't really seen double titles on the line for quite a while, I feel.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
So having both TLC match, sometimes you can either win by pinfall submission or
their first ever one was the only one they ever had that was pinfall was literally the Shield debut match.
Was it?
I do believe. That's the only one I can recall ever.
Right. Okay. That. So I have all the titles hanging above the
ring.
So
could well do that. So I don't know. It's a good build-up. I think that'll be a nice main event they've got going on, really.
That'll be solid.
Fair dues.
Then we have one of the most interesting segments would be after Balor's talking segment.
We've got Wyatt
teasing Sister Abigail, which leads to this whole speculation. Who's Sister Abigail? What is Sister Abigail? Is it going to be Bray Wyatt? People were saying that it could be Paige. There was visually there were similarities between the sort of the way that the eyes over the face, and the eyes themselves kind of reminded me of Nikki Cross, but I hope not, because Nikki Cross is good where she is at the moment with Sanity. I love that dynamic.
I feel like if any woman they would pick, I think it would be Paige, because they've been all about her coming back for a while now. She's been showing her at the Performance Center, and so she's like,
that would be interesting.
I think
it would
be I don't know where they'd go with that
Yeah.
Really? Because Balor would probably need someone, right? You can't just have Paige be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
This is why.
WWE just don't F it
And
up.
this is why people think it's just going to be Wyatt, Wyatt dressed up in a dress with his weird makeup. Which, to be fair, I haven't seen that before, and it's been a while since we've seen, some cross-dressing things. Since Vito was the last one.
Vito, yeah.
Okay. My goodness. And so, I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I'm not fussed on the Balor Wyatt feud still continuing, but if they're going to do a Sister Abigail thing, then I'm intrigued.
As long as if they evolve it, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, yeah, they're involved in a nice way, so they're going to have Demon Balor versus Demon Wyatt, I guess.
Demon Abigail.
Demon
Sister
Abigail
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Abigail.
Who knows?
But
it's kind of intriguing.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting developing situation, I think. And that's all that I can think of for the high spots. I mean,
yeah, I think
apart from SmackDown.
No, I agree. I think can't really think of anything else, to be honest. So
okay, we're back to our fun little segment called the Hart Attic with Eric Hart. Hart Attic. Hart Eric. What do you have for us this week? Where do our journeys take us?
Very little, actually. Obviously, this weekend is where all the big stuff's happening. You've got New Japan's big show happening, and then you've got Noah's show from Yokohama, which happened earlier in the week, but is airing over the weekend as well. But the big thing, the main thing, I think the biggest bit of Japanese stuff that was trending or was popular is Big Japan Pro Wrestling, BJW. They've got their tag league thing going on. Yes, they've got their tag tournament thing they going on called the Psycho Tag League. Right. And there was one match over the weekend that was pretty being buzzed about. Like a lot of people were like, yeah, this is great. And so I decided. So I went and watched the show. It was like day 2 of the tournament, I think, and they split up in 2 blocks. They got the death block and they got the strong block. Basically, BJW is made up of 2 divisions. You've got the death match division,
right?
Which
Fair
is
enough.
obviously all the death match stuff.
Yeah.
Then you've got the strong division, which is all the horse people, and then they've just introduced a new junior heavyweight title division as well in the mix. But they've got the strong people, they've got the people who are just the hench, and then you've got the death match people. So it's a nice dynamic, really.
Yeah, fair.
So on this one, they had 3 of the tournament matches. One of them was a fish and chips death match, which you think, I was like, what? But it turns out there's no actual fish and chips involved. It's literally a fishing rod, and there was like some stone chips or something in like a bucket or something that they poured onto the ring. And, like that was it. But the fishing rod gets like hooked into one of the wrestlers' mouths for quite a long time. I thought, this is going on a bit much now. Can you take it out now?
Yeah, I've seen that before in Jackass. But
I mean, they have done some weird stuff in Big Japan. Sometimes they go a bit too and sometimes it's like, this is fun. Like I think on their big show last month, they had a concrete floor death match. So they just had all the entire floor of the ring was just concrete blocks.
Oh my goodness!
They love their concrete blocks and light tubes, I can tell you. But the match that was talked about the most was part of the strong division or death match one, because which involved Yuji Okabayashi and Shingo Takagi from Dragon Gate. He's been doing some stuff with Big Japan lately, so he's been branched out, which is nice for him. It's different from the little, because he's a strong lad himself.
Yeah.
So it's a nice change from the fast-paced like lucha style puro that Dragon Gate offer.
Yeah.
And then against Daisuke Sekimoto and Kohei Sato. And it indeed was really like quite an awesome match, to be honest. Like proper like big lads like going at it, just like throwing. I mean, like the first half's kind of like not a bit like it went to a 30-minute time limit draw.
Right.
So like the first half is more of like the build up. So it's like a solid build up, but I wouldn't say it's like there. But then that last half, they just went, let's go all out. Let's just start throwing all the lariats and throwing all the big strikes and
everything,
plexes and just
super kicks,
going crazy. Nah, they're big lads. It's lariats and chops for big lads.
That's fair.
And fair play to them. They delivered. I can't deny that. The buzz, the hype is pretty real. I don't think I say I wouldn't have loved it as much as some people do, but I do think it was like still like a very top tier kind of matchup. So I can see why people were buzzing about it.
Good.
And that's the main thing that happened over the week anyway. Like I said, this weekend is with a big some big stuff happening. So
yeah.
But that's it from me for this week on the Hart Addict. So.
Okay. So the second actual topic now is all about our Hell in a Cell predictions.
Oh baby.
We have 9 things to predict. 9 things. There's 8 matches plus whether or not we think Carmelo will cash in. So let's begin with the undercard stuff.
The undercard.
So the pre-show first. We've got Benjamin and Gable versus Mojo and Zack Ryder. Once again, I'm still unsure about the whole Benjamin Gable thing because I want Benjamin to be on his own because he's a good singles wrestler. I'm guessing
I want both of them to be on their own, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I'm guessing Mojo and Zack lose again because
they've got a thing going on at the moment, haven't they? Like a rough patch. So I think it's a shoe-in really. I'd be very, very surprised if
I'm going with Ben Gay.
Yeah, I go Ben Gay as well.
As soon as they formed, I was like, Ben Gay.
Actually, Gay Ben.
No, but there's a thing called Ben Gay. I'm sure there is like some lotion thing. I don't know.
I mean, there's a wrestler called Ben K.
I don't know.
It's quite,
so we're the same on that one, which I thought we would be because I think it's just an obvious choice.
Yeah, you can't really like.
Then we have a match that I am anticipating, but I'm kind of being reserved because Ziggler's match has not exactly been the greatest as of yet, as of late even.
Ziggler's been a bit more. He's like stepped it back a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's not as.
So Rude and Ziggler, potential to be a dark horse. Really,
it could be a really good match. Sometimes
be a really good one.
You never know. They put their work boots on.
I'm gonna see because it seems like they're trying to rebuild Ziggler in a different light, of course. But Rude, obviously, they want to
start building momentum with.
Yeah.
I know they will, and I think Rude will go over. I think Ziggler's at this point where he's just
there to help others.
Not like he's doing this whole entrance shtick. It's not really working out.
Yeah.
And he just does. For me, he doesn't benefit from winning this as such, apart from if he does it in a way to continue the feud.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I could see him doing. But then at the same time, if anything, I'd feel like he would probably get counted out or disqualified or do something like that, rather than just like flat out win.
Gonna go with.
It's a tough one, but
I'm gonna go with a Rude win.
Yeah, it's
poor Ziggler. Then we have Rusev Orton again. It happened at SummerSlam, but it was cut short. It happened again on SmackDown. It was cut short, 9 seconds. They each have a victory over each other. This is kind of the rubber match, but it's kind of also the first big main match.
Well, that's true.
So, I'm gonna go with Rusev. Just because I think he needs it more, or there isn't a lot Orton needs nowadays, and I think Orton helped push Jinder up. Maybe he'll help get Rusev more main event status.
Yeah, I'll put Orton down for me.
Yeah,
it's a tough header to decide really, but I feel like I don't know. Some part of me thinks they're not caring so much about Rusev, and then some part of me do. That is a tough choice, to be honest. Like, it's tough to really know. I don't know, because I don't know what they're doing with either of them, to be honest. So it's like that kind of crossroads.
At first, Rusev was going to become the Mr. Money in the Bank, but Then
he wanted his title match in Money in the Bank, and then
all that
fell through. So I'm like, that's what I mean. I feel like they're like stuck in
limbo.
In place of what to do with him. Really, that's
Yeah.
the problem when you've got such a big roster of talent. And
Then we've got a match that
talent, I get him pulled back.
Yeah. Then we got a match that I feel should be a triple threat match.
Should be a triple, especially after SmackDown. I'm sorry, if Ty Dillinger wins, he should be allowed just in the matchup.
Yeah.
Like, what benefit did Corbin get from losing, or what did anyone get from doing it? Apart from Styles
maybe
making
he'll
the
purse off now. Maybe Corbin will win.
That's the thing,
So,
innit? That's the thing that they've put in, that they've kind of maybe are trying to implant. But at the same time, I'm just like, Dillinger beat him.
Yeah.
Like, he should be allowed to go in there.
So there's US title matches. AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin should be a triple threat with Ty Dillinger. Still time, I guess. Maybe they could announce it on the show.
I feel like they would have done it.
But what we've got at the moment is Styles Corbin. I mean, the way Corbin's been coming off as of late, it's almost as if they could do this whole, right, he's been losing or doing all this.
So he wins the title.
So he wins. But because he is the shortcut king or whatever they've been labelling him as.
I've never even seen him do shortcuts much, really.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Styles. I mean, I don't want Corbin as champion. There was a time where I was thinking, yeah, Corbin could win, but just the way they've been building him as late and treating him, I'm just like, well, if it doesn't look like WWE really cares too much about him and building him up, so why should I?
But then Road Dogg's really like pushing for him.
Yeah, I'm going Styles.
I'll go Styles. I don't think they're going to kick. I mean, Styles only really recently won back a title, so I don't think they'll take it off him just like that. Like, I feel like they want to keep doing the open challenge thing a little bit more.
Yeah.
At the very least, or something along them lines. So, yeah, Styles.
Then we get to the 4 big matches. Well, I say the 4 big matches.
The big 4.
The 3 that I'm most anticipating, and then 1 which I should anticipate because it's the WWE title, but I just don't care too much about.
I probably care about the least than any other one.
Women's Championship. Now, whenever these two have faced off before, I've fucking loved.
They were
sorry for
that was the first women's match to
yeah.
In the past 6 years, that was great. And like on
Charlotte versus Natalya. Natalya is the SmackDown Women's Champion walking in. What I've seen on Twitter as well is these two after Hell in a Cell will be the first two like competitors who have versed each other for 4 different titles: NXT Women's Title, the WWE Divas Title, the Raw Women's Title, and now the SmackDown Women's Title. They've had matches for each.
Oh wow! I didn't realise that.
Which is kind of cool, and
fair play.
I've enjoyed all their matches. I'm hoping this is another, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Flair versus Hart. Let's just get
that's what
magic.
They need to do, really. I think so. I think Natalya's gonna retain.
Yeah, I hope she does.
She's only won it at SummerSlam. You don't want to take her off it just yet.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they do that sometimes, but I feel like Natalya needs a good run with it. And if anything, the only thing I feel like Carmella would get it off her. And
off her rather than Charlotte.
Yeah, maybe. Like,
potentially. Because I was thinking, like, if Charlotte wins, I would imagine that'd be the perfect opportunity for the cash in.
I feel like if anything, I think a title change is more likely at Survivor Series potentially than at Hell in a Cell. But you never know with these things. But I'm sticking with Natalya. I just can't change that.
And then cash in wise, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I think no as well. I don't think she's gonna do it.
There's like before I've been kind of like yes, just because if it does cash in, I'd be like, I got it right. But they gave Corbin's cash in way too early, and they obviously had him fail. Carmella's now, they need to kind of build up, because at the moment they're making it very apparent. They need to make it more mystery. They need to kind of dial it back a bit, kind of make it almost to the point we forget about it. And then when it happens, it's like, oh my god. So yeah, no cash in. We are currently all the same apart from Rusev Orton. We'll see where these next three land us. So my most anticipated match of the night is the Uso Penitentiary Hell in a Cell Tag Team Championship match. The New Day versus the Usos. And their promo on SmackDown just hyped me up even more. The way Big E was like, every time we faced each other, we've left everyone in awe of everything we can do. And I'm just like, yes, you have. New Day beat Usos in the street fight a couple of weeks ago, so that's how they're now the champions. I'm just trying to think who would... This should be the feud ender. I believe they've said this is the
I think this would be it. Yeah,
I think they have said this is the final encounter.
This would be the final. I think New Day are going to retain.
Right. I want the Usos to win because I just love the Usos, but I'm trying to think ahead. I'm trying to think, right, after whoever wins, who would be the next in line? Ben Gay or...
Probably Ben Gay, If they start building up.
If they disband Mojo and Zach. I mean, there's the Ascension.
Breezango.
Oh,
the Fashion Files are back.
Yes! I just remembered the sort of hype thing from SmackDown. Fashion Files returns. Hell in a Cell this Sunday. I want Usos to win, but I think New Day are going to retain. Just because I don't think they want to hot potato it again.
Yeah, because the problem is when someone loses their titles, they get the rematch clause.
Yeah.
And they kind of just...
So there's a reason to continue it.
It just made me have a asterisk on that. It's after maybe
there's so many times.
2 times or something like that. You can't do it after, if you've lost it once or twice.
We'll skip to the WWE Championship match.
Okay, that's fine. Because KO Shane will be main eventing. There's no doubt about that one.
WWE Championship, the modern day Maharaja with probably the Singh brothers versus Shinsuke Nakamura in not a Hell in a Cell match.
Good.
So this is a match that I'm just I want to be interested because I love Shinsuke.
Been shite.
Yeah,
hype's
been dodgy.
I
wouldn't necessarily say shite. It's just been dodgy.
That is bad. It's been bad.
It's dodgy. The sort of Jinder being
the only thing that's worked
whatever he's
is
doing.
Nakamura getting involved.
Yeah.
And stuff, but the whole making fun of face was so petty.
Yeah.
That it just failed.
Who's gonna win?
And I love Nakamura, but you can't. But if you make me not even care much about Nakamura match, you know you've done.
Yeah, that's bad.
And I feel like it's reflecting it as well. And I know attendance has been coming down a bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're at a point where you need to just cut Jinder out.
I'm predicting a Mahal win.
I'm gonna put Nakamura down.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Because I want him to, and I feel like they should just do it now, and not wait till Survivor Series, because it's just not. I feel like it's just not working out anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of it. I just want to go.
That's the thing. The only reason I'm doing Mahal is because I'm half expecting the Singh brothers to get involved.
That's the problem, is them. But then there's a good chance
because it's just a singles match, so not a cell match. Now, literally, I would kind of mark if they were in the ring and then the cell just sort of came down, or someone came out and announced it's a cell match. That I would have no issue with, because then it's surprising. It would add a little twist to the match and maybe make it a bit more memorable. But
Or maybe like
Otherwise-
something happens like during it, like the Singh brothers trying to get involved, and like suddenly like the refs like I don't know why the ref would be like bring the cell there,
Why not?
or something weird like
Yeah,
that.
I hope they do. Like, I remember before there was an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and we were all like, oh, there's already one match. Oh, but what if they do this? Shield and Wyatt are in the ring, and then they just sort of bring down the chamber.
Well, it's like
but
Austin Kane, King of the Ring '98. They had a bad blood match, and then like halfway through the match, the cell comes down. So it's technically like partly a cell match.
Yeah.
Which is like weird, but something like that really.
But yeah, probably won't happen. But I suppose we can hope.
I mean, they gotta do something. Just like
Yeah.
have a Singh brother get thrown about again through a table or something. Just
Yeah.
for the fun, for the lols. Like just they
Take a Kinsasha.
like they do need to.
Kinsasha Banks.
I'm hoping they pull something off
Yeah.
that's better than the whole SummerSlam malarkey. So.
As you can tell, we're very unenthused.
Good reason.
The main event then, or the main event. Not maybe not. It better be the end of the show. Or the tag match.
They keep in the KO Shane thing at the end of every SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be end of show kind of thing.
First ever, technically not, but the first ever Falls Count Anywhere.
The first one where they've actually acknowledged that they need to put Falls Count Anywhere before.
Yeah.
Even though when it first started, it was Falls Count Anywhere for at least up until I think Jericho, Triple H was the last one who did it with.
Right.
And then obviously because obviously Triple H won on top of this out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, Falls Count Anywhere, Hell in a Cell. Nice little feud that's been built.
They've built it nicely. They've built it really nicely. I love
Shane screwed him a few times.
The whole SmackDown stuff they did as well last SmackDown, like the whole beat down, and then again Kevin pushing in the shoot headbutts.
I think KO's got to win.
Kevin Owens,
Shane doesn't win.
This is what I want to happen, or I think should happen. Let Kevin Owens win the cell match. Then Nakamura win the title. Let's have Kevin Owens. Shinsuke Nakamura at Survivor Series for the title. That's the
versus
direction.
Jinder Mahal. That's a good idea.
Ah, no.
He's gonna have a rematch.
Give it no. I know a way around this.
That's the issue.
Give him the rematch on SmackDown.
Yeah,
then
true.
lose it. There's still like a month and a half until Survivor Series. They can
November 20th.
exactly. They'll have like a month and a couple of weeks, so they might as well just have like a WWE title match.
Yeah.
And have him just lose it.
So.
Just do it that way. That's what
I want. Yeah. Shane is more an attraction now. Like, they'll bring him in, but you kind of know he's going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I know he got beaten the hell out of on SmackDown, but him winning wouldn't gain. You wouldn't gain anything from winning.
Unless it was just to lengthen the feud.
Like, the only thing they could do is if he won, they'd have to just they'd have to fire Kevin essentially, probably, or something.
Yeah.
Or he'd be moved to Raw or something.
But
dodgy like that. But it's like
KO's got to win.
Yeah, I feel
pop a powerbomb, top the cell, do it.
Pop a powerbomb off the cell.
Imagine that.
That'd be too much to.
We differ on two things: Rusev Orton, Mahal Nakamura. Are these what you want to lock in?
Yes. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, you're happy with all yours?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with that. I'm going to change.
Oh.
Rude Ziggler.
We up in the ante, are we?
Because if Rude wins,
there is a good chance they might extend the feud.
I'm thinking
which
extend.
Is what I think they could do.
So I'm going Zig.
So
and in just the idea of trying to make it a bit more thing. Styles is gonna Styles, Natalia, New Day. So no title changes I'm predicting.
I just want Nakamura.
Yeah, me too.
Really.
Me too. Don't worry.
I'm done with you, Jinder. Please hinder the Jinder now.
Yes, hinder that Jinder. Just like they tried But
it was fine to begin with.
Yeah.
I thought this is interesting, and then I thought they would end it at SummerSlam, and then everything has fallen down since then has just been like
exactly.
And they clearly haven't cared much about it because they've just done like a segment on the show, and then that's it.
Yep.
It's not even like the main part of the show, or like the main event or anything. It's just they've stuck their focus on KO and Shane essentially, and they've had more focus probably on the US title match.
You know, you got a problem when the title isn't even the main thing.
And they don't even have, neither of them wrestled either. Neither Nakamura or Jinder. They just haven't had them wrestling.
Oh yeah.
They've literally just had Jinder come on, make fun of him.
How the Singh brothers keep doing impressions of
Nakamura beats him up. Nakamura did a promo, and then Nakamura got beaten up. So it's
yeah,
very
But overall, I'm hyped for the show.
Oh no, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I think the Usos, New Day. I feel I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably not going to happen if bloody like Kofi or something just does like a dive onto everyone or something.
Oh, that's the thing.
The problem is
figure out who's in the match. I'm guessing Kofi and Big E.
Yeah, I think it is. They were the ones with the titles on, I think, on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I mean, they might put all three of them in, or they do something.
No, they've said only two of them are going to be in the match. The third will have to be on the outside eating bootios or whatever.
You're probably get involved somehow.
Yeah, you know it's going to happen.
That's what I mean. There's a good chance things might open up, and then someone does something jumps off the cell. Like Kofi seems like the kind of person I just had this image of him doing like a crossbody off the cell onto everyone, and I just feel like that's
crazy.
But the problem is, then you consider how high the cell is now.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they originally made it that high to make people think, oh, no one's going to do anything off the top of that. And then Shane changes the game.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you wouldn't do anything. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, that's fine.
But,
so...
Big stuff's going to happen.
It's, yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll deliver something and not disappoint, but...
The current league, prediction league, we have 7 people in the league. Some people haven't predicted all since what was the first one? NXT TakeOver Chicago. That was the first one we predicted, I think.
May well have been.
Yeah. For this year's table anyway. In 7th place, Squire with 8 points. 6th place, Jack with 14 points. 5th place, Matt with 19 points. Tied 3rd place, JJ and Josh with 26 points. 2nd place is me with 33 points. And then 4-point lead, Eric, 37. We still don't know what the winner or whatever's going to happen with this, but it's just a nice little thing to do. And that is our Hell in a Cell predictions. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you saw, don't forget to give us the old like button down below. If you want to see even more Conquest content, then feel free to click on the subscribe button. Click on the bell icon next to it, and you'll get a notification each and every time we upload a video. You can join the Conquest through a number of different ways. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/jointheconquest. If you do so, it will be hugely appreciated. It'll help the Conquest grow and take over the world. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ConquestCG. You can follow us on Twitter at run_conquest. We have a Twitch, we have an Instagram, we have an editorial website, we have a YouTube channel, because that's what you're watching us on right now. All the different channels will be down below, including blazingheart.wordpress.com for the latest in wrestling reviews and stuff from Eric Hart.
Yeah, look out for my should be Hell in the Cell rankings from Who's the Best this weekend, hopefully. That's how it goes.
Sorted.
Or a review of New Japan King of Pro Wrestling, I guess, at some point.
It's going to happen, hopefully. This has been No Flips, Just Mics. I want to say episode
I think it's 13. I think we are on 13.
I have been Rhys Baldwin. He has been Eric Hart. And for joining us, you've been absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. We hope to see you next time on No Flips, Just Mics. All there's left to do is to bell ring. Ring the bell.